Hello everyone, I'm Angelina and I'm a student at the Rutgers New Brunswick Business School. As you can see here, I have a site here that I set up, mostly talking about some of my professional accomplishments and interests. But as you can see here, I do have a personal interest tab, and one of my interests is actually drawing and painting. And today I kind of wanted to show you who I am beyond my professional work experience, and I wanted to take you through some of my creative process. So one of the paintings here I have, it's actually my favorite that I've done, and it's done with acrylic on canvas. And although this looks really complex, I kind of wanted to show how I would approach making a painting like this and how maybe you can apply some of these creative techniques to your own personal creative endeavors, as many of the techniques or kind of perspective used and this creative process can be applied to different fields. So here I kind of have this painting pasted into fresco here, and I just wanted to break it down into a more simpler, understandable piece to work with. So here I have my painting here, and although this drawing was done traditionally, I kind of have kind of a blank canvas here to show how I would start this from the ground up. And so something to understand in drawing or painting or even like photography is that composition is very important. And some of the main things that are important in composition is the foreground, middle ground, and background. Now, these words are pretty straightforward. The foreground is just what's closest to the camera or the perspective. The middle ground is between the middle and background, and the background obviously is what's in the very back, and the background will typically be a little blurry or out of focus, and that's very normal. And so I've kind of outlined these three terms here. And so when you're starting with a blank canvas, you can start out by mapping out the foreground, middle ground, and background. So if I was to do a brief sketch here, I would draw out the foreground here, and you can see maybe the rock goes right here. The bushes, the middle ground would go right here. And then in the background, you can see some of the trees, which I'll just very quickly sketch here. And already you can kind of see that there's a drawing, like the very basics of a drawing starting to take place. And even though this is just a quick sketch, you can already kind of see how something like this is coming to life just by simply identifying these key parts of the picture. And let's say if you're a photographer, maybe you aren't drawing things out, but you can apply these techniques of, oh, can you visibly see a good background, middle ground, and foreground in this picture? And or if you're preparing to color in an image and you have your sketch prepared, you can start thinking about, oh, should I start painting with the foreground, middle ground, or background? And you can see that I've pulled up an image here, and with this photograph, you can see, oh, the foreground is kind of these pink flowers up here. The middle ground, it can be a little tricky because the middle ground is a bit blended in with the foreground here, but it's going to be these back foliage and some of these trees, and the background are these mountains back here. And so when you approach creative processes and you don't necessarily know where to start, because a blank canvas like this can sometimes be very intimidating, hopefully identifying these elements in composition, such as the foreground, middle ground, and background, can kind of help you out or give you somewhat of a starting point if you're kind of stuck in that block. And hopefully this also gave you an insight into my own creative process and how I kind of approach seemingly complex images or paintings like this. And if you enjoyed hearing about some of my creative background, I hope that you can give this video a like and subscribe, and maybe share with someone who is stuck with their own creative process. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you.